One example I want to share with you is that the cable networks trial, the brand name is T-Bing. So T-Bing is a brand name introduced by a cable network company in Korea. Maybe similar to a TV portal concept or TV everywhere strategy. You know, TV everywhere strategy is not unique to Korea. It's a kind of common strategy utilized or suggested by many global companies around the world. But the reason why I picked up this one for your attention is that maybe I'm personally waiting for beyond Google. Because Google is a text-based business model, but we are approaching the video era. So we need video search engine or video aggregation or video editor business model. So TV, I thought, is very similar or very closer to that kind of next generation business model. So I put down the first definition of my own, beginning with the video. It's a video aggregation business model beyond Google. So probably at the next slide, I stressed again because before the search engine of Google, we had many brave business trials. Including social network services like I Love School or Cyworld, long before Twitter and Facebook in Korea. So maybe beyond Google, it's not surprising to me that we can have video aggregation business model in Korea maybe in 2 or 3 years later. So TV can be characterized by myself as a combination of a cable platform and web TV services. It's very similar, as I mentioned, the multi-screen strategy or TV everywhere strategy, but it's not a packaged service, nor is not a service through premium networks done by global companies in other countries. It's a service through normal internet networks. So it is possible because, as I said, in Korea, more than 60% of the Korean households are hooked up to FTTH. So it's due to that kind of high-speed broadband infrastructure, that kind of the business model could be born in Korea. So currently, the TV offers 60 channels aggregated, including terrestrial TV companies. And I think around 500,000 people are registered. And among their contents, most people enjoyed, especially the baseball games or TV dramas. And their business model is developing. I mean, they are currently doing business based upon the subscription fee basis, but they may move to the advertising revenue as the main source. Sorry. Okay, the third example we are familiar with, Samsung's connected TV concept, or the more general name is a smart TV, but the Samsung already introduced their TV under the title of connected TV. Definitely, that connected means that connected to internet. So smart TV is usually defined as the equipped with operating system and the web browsing, but they added one more factor, localized TV apps. The localized means that the TV apps, the composition of TV apps is different country by country. For example, in Korea, especially the young people are crazy about the internet games, so they intentionally put more categories of internet games in their TV apps. And that's not true in the United States. That's not true also in the European countries. So they try to diversify the TV apps, for their targeting markets. But my point is that Samsung, as you know, is a manufacturing company, not a service company. But they approach the market as an aggregator and manager of the TV apps, as a kind of a business strategy. And the statistics shows that by 2013, the 2013 is a very meaningful time for Korea Internet, because Korea Communication Commission announced last year, by 2013, we have a 1 gigabyte for the Korean household. So by 2013, about 2 million people will use, I think it's a very conservative observation. At least 2 million Korean people will utilize the smart TVs. So maybe by that time we can have more TVs. So we can have more venture companies utilizing TVs by that time. Let me say more about the year of the 2013. We expect that at least in the year of 2013, at least 70% of the traffic will be composed of video. So definitely by that time, we may see more video-based search engines, video-based venture companies, or video-utilizing venture companies by that time. Tablet PC, okay. Samsung definitely, contacted with their Galaxy Tab, but they also, came with the same business strategy, the content localization strategy, and they even, targeted the navigation targets, the small-sized one, best fitted in the car. So maybe not a bad business model, the overflowing the navigation or displacing, the navigation or car black box apps, etc. And they also put more educational type of contents for Korean people's taste. And also they offer the free DMB services through Galaxy Tab. It's a typical example of the localized, contents strategy. The video search engine. Its Answers is the name of the Korean venture company. I have no business interest or business shares in the company, but when I read that the story and the business model, I thought that we definitely are waiting for that kind of business model for Korea, because we are moving toward the video era, beyond the text era. So we need, the beyond the Google. So the Google is the keyword search engine, keyword-based search engine. But at least as I mentioned, by 2013, we need video search engine global company. So I personally believe that Korea may be the next country, to see that kind of brave or the ambitious global company utilizing that the video traffic. Answers drew my attention when I prepared this presentation, because it utilized very unique technology, so-called the video DNA technology. They said that they utilized the video fingerprinting technology. I think that's the very unique technology. I'm not a technician nor an engineer. I'm basically a lawyer, but I think that's the technology, very interesting technology. So it currently utilized as a very passive business model, tracking down the illegal downloading or illegal copying, etc. practices. But they will soon introduce a very active business model, exactly like the Google's, text search engine model. web portal, in Korea, the web portal is very unique in its business model. Only in Korea, Google is not the major player because, as you know, Naver, the Korean search engine company, is the biggest market player. One of the reasons, answering that kind of a unique situation in Korea is that they have a very unique business model. They now work as a news editor and provider for portal visitors, definitely. So we can say that it's definitely a different business model like Google. It's a successful business model in the sense of seizing or seizing the visitors longer than their website than any other business model. So by maximizing the visitors' staying time on their website, they were successful to draw more investment from advertisers. But as the smartphones equipped with operating system introduced in the market, web portals are facing a kind of a threat or danger because they were fallen down as a kind of a chosen menu in the smartphone. So they have to overcome that kind of threat. This diagram shows that the Korean people have an access to news through portals in internet world. Comparing with the newspaper website or broadcasting website, most people are exposed to news through portals. Okay, the Korean media economy, in a broader sense, is good or strong, whatever. In the sense that it is definitely a market equipped with world-class delivery infra. And as I mentioned briefly, that we have many interesting or brave business model utilizing that high broadband infra. And also, Korean people are believed really early adopters for new media and services. So it's not surprising to see Songdo New City is focused or attracted by many investors, as a future smart city place. But when we look at the other side, we are small in the size of the market comparing with other countries, suggesting that the Korean media domestic market is not good enough or big enough to guarantee the massive investment for the market development. And even within the domestic side, the terrestrial TVs are still enjoying a dominant position. And as I mentioned in the previous slide, the web portals are too powerful distributor of the contents, and we still maintain a tough regulation of the packed with entry barriers, and also we have a problem of the illegal downloading. As a conclusion, I should say that innovative IT itself may be monopolized by one company, whether it's a telcos, media company, or internet company, or maybe a biotech company. But the innovative business trials through active models cannot be monopolized one by a company and by a country. Korea definitely try to encourage those innovative trials that are introduced in the slides for the global welfare, and we'll share the lessons on their form for other countries. Thank you for your attention. 감사합니다.